Hello and welcome to the Craft Beer Corner. For today's beer review, we're jumping into a sour beer from another new brewer to me. So this brewer is called Liquid Love Brewing Company. This beer is called Banana Cream Hugs. Clocks in at 5.5% ABV. It is a sour ale brewed with banana, marshmallow, vanilla wafers, and lactose. Liquid Love Brewing Company is based in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. So, breaking the trend of many stouts I've still got to get through. We're trying something in a different direction. A sour ale, but with a lactose addition and banana. You don't see a ton of banana beers. I've only ever had 2 or 3. All of them were really great, and this sounds like a pretty interesting kind of recipe here. A banana cream pie in a sour ale format, but with some lactose. I don't know how sweet or if the sweet will override the sour. My suspicion is it's got enough lactose in it to let the marshmallow and vanilla wafers speak and taste like their ingredients should, to make this taste almost like a banana cream pie in beer form. So very bright yellow, kind of gets you in the mood for it with specks of brown, and looks very banana cream pie-like. So let's just get this one cracked gently. And we're going to be using our all-purpose Sam Adams glass today. It's got a nice tulip shape at the top, but it's bigger, so it'll hold a pint. So this shape works well for sour beers. I'm going to get this poured right in gently. Yeah, I see a fair bit of carbonation here. It's reasonably active, but I don't really see it trying to aggressively form a head here, which is great. And we'll stop right about there on the tulip. Didn't quite get the whole thing, and this does not hold a pint. But visually, it is very light yellow, straw yellow, almost like a Saison would be, or a Pilsner, and it's also very cloudy. So, you know, it's got bananas and other sort of things in it. I kind of expect it to be occluded, and indeed it is. Pretty active in terms of carbonation. Mostly what I see is actually really tiny, fine champagne-like bubbles kind of rushing up to the top. So bravo on it, not really trying to form a head here on me. Looks great. Let's get right up over it for a sniff. Oh, wow. That is an interesting aroma combination, and it smells fantastic. It smells almost candy-like. So I'll tell you exactly what it smells like after I explain. A little bit of sour, a little bit of tart. It is a sour ale, but you can very distinctly smell the banana and the vanilla and the marshmallow as well. And really what this smells like to me is almost like the banana Jelly Bellies, the banana flavored Jelly Bellies. They have a distinct, very pungent, candy-like banana aroma and flavor. Top banana, I think, is what they call that flavor. This smells exactly like that. It smells absolutely fantastic. With the exception, there's a little punch of sour and tart on the nose. But this beer looks great. It sounds interesting. Let's just jump right in, see what it's about. Banana cream pie flavored sour ale. Take one. Oh, man. Oh, that's a clever beer. That's clever. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't sure how this would work. I had suspicions of how they would do it. And indeed, they did do it as I expected. And it more or less tastes like I did expect. And it's absolutely amazing. If you like bananas like I do, I'm crazy about them. It's one of my absolute favorite foods. Yeah, this is truly delicious. Not a lot of banana beers out there. Kind of a trickier ingredient to make work in a beer, but it really works in this absolutely phenomenally. So, before we get into the flavors, let's talk about the texture. The body on this feels kind of medium, which for a 5.5% sour ale, it feels heavier than you'd expect, but it does have the lactose addition. The same thing rings true for the mouthfeel, but it's even bigger. The mouthfeel is actually very resistant. This beer feels very thick, which does put you in mind of a banana cream pie. So I kind of like that aspect, but it's well above the average for the style. Again, I think this does come down to that lactose addition. So texturally, weight-wise, it's punching well above its weight class for 5.5% sour ale. The flavor profile, that's the magic. It actually does kind of sort of taste a little bit like that banana Jelly Belly, but it's got way more layers of flavor. So the immediate first thing that you get up front is a big burst of banana, but it's got that tart coming from the sour ale. And there are bits where it pops out and comes off a little more sour than tart, but I would say overall it's more tart than anything else. So it does, even still in the flavor profile, have almost this candy-like sense to it. Because of that lactose pairing with the sour ale base, it's really, really good. Marshmallow comes through very, very clearly. The vanilla comes through very, very clearly. I can't really make a distinction between tasting the vanilla flavor itself between the actual just vanilla versus vanilla wafers, but I can tell you on the wafer side of the equation, there is a definite vanilla wafer flavor to the beer, and it really is kind of binding to the underlying malt bill in this, which this one feels to me, as you often get in a sour style beer, that would be a lot more grain centric anyway, present some more cereal-like flavors. So really it's this combination of these flavors added with the lactose that's making it taste like it does, and it's absolutely delicious. I was hopeful that this would be a really good beer. It sounded clever, and their approach to it is absolutely top tier. So as I expected in this, the lactose is really here to let the additive ingredients taste like themselves. And it's not too much because you still get a nice sour and tart kick to this beer, but it really does taste like banana cream pie in beer form. It's absolutely phenomenal. Not a combination I would have thought to put in a beer, but they did, and they pulled it off. So I'm gonna jump back in for a second sip, let everything re-intensify, and then we'll talk about the finish. Great beer. Banana, nice bit of tart, kind of ebbs and flows in between tart and sour. Vanilla starts to pop in after about 3-4 seconds. That malt bill really starts to open up and really does help bind that vanilla wafer flavor to it. It really does taste like vanilla wafers. I mean, this is just tremendous. This really, really does taste like a banana cream pie or like a homemade southern banana pudding. It's basically the same thing, just one in pie form, but man, what a great beer. Absolutely delicious. So for the finish, most sour beers have some semblance of drying on the end. This one does a little bit. It's subtle. It's not astringent at all, and due to its viscosity really and the lactose in there and kind of everything that they have in here, it doesn't dry out quite as much as your average sour ale. Where I'm getting it is just a subtle bit right on the very tip of my tongue. So it does finish pretty clean, but it doesn't really make your palate dry out at all. Just on the tip of the tongue, the entire rest of my palate feels still very wet, and I'm still getting residual bits of lingering flavor on there. So the actual length of the finish is longer than your average sour ale as well. But what flavors really linger on the back is honestly, it's that vanilla wafer and the underlying malt bill, the grain kind of cereal-like quality that lingers the most, with just small, subtle whispers of banana and vanilla that are still present, but it is dominated by kind of the vanilla wafer flavor and the underlying grain, the malt bill that they used in this beer. So it didn't quite finish how I expected, but very pleasantly surprised with what I experienced. For my money, this is a really, really clever take on what you could do, experiment with different flavor combinations in a sour beer. I think they absolutely nailed it. This is truly delicious. I'm going to take my time, sip on this one, come up with my scores. When we come back, we'll get this one ranked from top to bottom. All right, now that we've gotten to enjoy this beer, we're going to get it ranked. This was Liquid Love Brewing Company's Banana Cream Hugs, a sour ale brewed with bananas, marshmallow, vanilla wafers, vanilla, and lactose. Clocked in at 5.5% ABV, Liquid Love Brewing Company is based in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. So, This was a very interesting beer when I saw what it was about, and I love bananas. It's hard to pull off in a beer form. I've had 3 or 4 to date, not that many brewed with bananas, but all of the ones I've tried have been great, so I always grab them when I see them. And I had very high hopes for this beer, and it absolutely delivered. This was a very clever blend of ingredients with the right balance, and I can tell you this is another one of those that nearly swept the board in all categories. There was only one category where it did not get a perfect score. That was in the finish. The finish, it got a 7 out of 10. So the finish, that's above average. Well longer than your average sour ale to be certain, and really, it kind of surprised me. What pushed out on this was really that kind of lingering underlying malt bill from the sour ale and kind of that lingering flavor of vanilla wafers and just a hint of that banana on the top. And it was definitely longer than your average sour. Didn't finish quite as astringently dry. Indeed, it was subtle. It was just the tip of the tongue, so I think that helped the cause as well. But, longer than average, it's not a barrel-aged sour, so it's not going to hit a 10, most likely. But still very, very impressive. I really, really enjoyed what they did with this one. I think the blend of ingredients and the balance in particular was absolutely top-notch, and it really had a nice presence and heft to it for the style. Really, really did taste exactly as advertised. What a great first beer to try from any new brewer to me. I'm going to keep my eyes out for more of what they're doing. If this is any indication of how they brew their beers, absolutely fantastic. Folks, that's today's review. As always, I do sincerely appreciate you tuning in today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to stay in the loop when our videos go live, just turn on your notifications, hit that bell icon. It's right next to the subscribe button. Until next time, keep it beer, keep it craft. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.